The explanation for that is I have to check the organizational chart every day just to be sure whether I'm a branch or section, and make sure what division I'm in at any given time. Things shuffle around sometimes in TxDOT. My name is Shawn Fox. I work for Magdy McHale in pavement preservation for the maintenance division, and I'm here to discuss the 4-year pavement management plan. The 4-year pavement management plan is an attempt to look into the future. This is something that is mandated for TxDOT to complete through our appropriations bill. It is something that has to be submitted every year to the Legislative Budget Board. However, it's more than just something that we have to do. The 4-year plan is a tool that allows us to see what effect the projects that you have scheduled for your districts and for your areas will have on the pavement performance. This is a tool that is designed to be a long-term planning tool, and its purpose is really just to help you make the best decisions you can for your district. I like to tell people that the 4-year plan is trying to recreate the carnival fortune teller experience that many of us may have had as children. I think they still have those today. I'm not entirely sure. The difference being that the 4-year plan has some basis in scientific and engineering facts. It is something that is completed every year by CTR, and it attempts to quantify the effect of every project performed on our network. It breaks each section of roadway into one of 9 deterioration models based off the functional class of the roadway, based off the pavement type, and it also takes into account 4 separate climatic zones, whether you're a wet or dry region and whether you're in a freezing or non-freezing area of Texas. It's something that looks somewhat like this. As you can see, it shows what would happen to your pavement without any projects being performed, and what we expect the performance to be with what you currently have scheduled. These projects are extracted from DCIS and Compass. Previously, we restricted the funding category of projects for the 4-year plan. We no longer do that after we learned that both discretionary funds and some other funding sources were being used for projects that affect the pavement performance. Years 1 and 2 must be location specific, but years 3 or 4 can apply to a general area or section of your roadways. The effect of the project is determined by the class of the project: routine maintenance, preventative maintenance, light, medium, or heavy rehab. So how do we maximize the value that we actually get out of the 4-year plan? Well, we have to make sure that the projects that we have scheduled count. There is no magic button, there is no magic field that we can fill in to get the best information. You can only get out of this what you put into it. So in order to maximize the value of this project, we have to make sure that the information about it is correct. And I will repeat this several times, but if you need help in getting accurate information into any of these source systems, call me. I will help you. There are a few errors, however, that we see most often that cause issues. The first is location. If we don't know where a project is supposed to be, we don't know which sections of road to apply it to. I remember a couple of years ago when I first started working for Magdy, I had to try to find a project whose limits were 2 miles past the red barn. That does not help me. I don't know your roads like you do, and I don't know where that red barn was. I think it was, I want to say Far District, but I could just be picking on them. Second is funding. If you have $0 assigned to a project, it's not going to have any effect on your road. Similarly, if you have more funds allocated to a project than you have available, it's a pretty good indicator that there's something wrong. And finally, there's the classification of the project. Sometimes we just can't tell what the intent is from the descriptions given in either DCIS or Compass. Most projects are easily classifiable into one of the categories that I mentioned previously, but sometimes they're not. So that brings me to how we are going to try to help make this better. One thing is we will actually start sending an automated summary of your projects via email starting next year for the 4-year plan, where we will categorize them, we will identify the errors in them, and we will show how it compares to previous years. That way you can see if you're spending 10 times the money that you actually have budgeted, or you can see if you're leaving money on the table that could be applied to improving the performance of your roads. We will also be publishing new guides that will explain where the data comes from and how the fields translate. This is something that can be very, very confusing. We have a lot of IT systems within the department, and not all of them are easily understood anymore. We've lost a lot of people over the years, and these job duties get shuffled from person to person quite frequently. So we will be publishing documentation on exactly where the data comes from and exactly how it's used. There are also some other changes that will be coming in the future. One of those was touched on by Magdi, Pavement Analyst. Pavement Analyst will allow on-demand analysis to be performed for your district or for the state, and it will allow better project mapping through the Pavement Analyst GIS features. One thing I do want to stress, though, is we are here to help. If you have a problem related to the 4-year plan, if you have a problem related to PMIS data, if you have a question, let us know. If you think there's something that we can do to make your lives easier, let us know. If there's just something you'd like to see, let us know. I can't guarantee we'll do it, but we'll at least try. And thank you.